Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into Surah al-Hajj, the 22nd chapter of the Quran. And what a chapter it is. It takes you on this incredible journey, starting with the sheer terror of the end of the world, then shifting to the miracle of life, then to these ancient pilgrimage rituals, and it all ties back to what faith really means on a personal level.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at this tremendous event the Surah warns us about right at the beginning. Then, we'll see how it uses the miracle of creation to tackle doubt. After that, we'll get into the Hajj pilgrimage itself, the ritual at the heart of the chapter. We'll also explore how faith is tested and how different people react. And finally, we'll see what it all builds up to, the ultimate call to action. So, let's get right into it. The Surah doesn't ease you in. Nope. It starts with this boom, this sudden, thunderous warning about the Day of Judgment. It's presented as something that is absolutely, without a doubt, going to happen.
And listen to how it starts. O mankind. Right away, this sets a really urgent, powerful tone. Notice, it's not talking to one group of people or one nation, it's speaking to all of humanity. That immediately tells you just how serious this is, and it establishes the Creator's authority over everything.
The picture it paints is just pure chaos, total terror. The shock is so intense, it says people will look like they're drunk, but they're not. They're just stumbling around in absolute confusion. It's describing a moment where everything you thought you knew, all the rules of nature, even basic human bonds, just completely fall apart.
Okay, now check this out, because this is where it gets really clever. Right after this terrifying vision of the end, the surah completely pivots. It goes from the end of life right back to the very beginning. It's this brilliant move, really. To deal with the fear of the unknown, it points to a miracle we see every day, how a human being is created. It's like it's saying, you doubt resurrection? Just look at how you got here in the first place.
And it literally walks you through the stages, from dust to a drop of fluid, to a clot, to a lump of flesh. It's incredible. And the argument is so simple, but so powerful. It's basically saying, look, if God can create this complex, thinking person from dust, then bringing you back to life after you're gone, that's not hard for him at all.
And then it gives us this perfect analogy from nature to drive the point home. You see the earth, right? It looks dead, completely barren. But then the rain comes, and suddenly, life. It swells and grows, and all these beautiful plants pop up. The message is clear. Just like that dead land comes back to life, so will we. It makes this huge, abstract idea of resurrection feel, real and totally natural. Okay, so that brings us to the central theme, the one that actually gives the chapter its name, the Hajj. We're talking about the pilgrimage to the Kaaba in Mecca. It's this ancient, powerful ritual all about submission and devotion. And the Quran connects this ritual all the way back to the prophet Abraham, this huge figure in monotheism. The story goes that he was the one commanded to set up this sacred place and to call everyone, all of humanity, to come on this pilgrimage. And that tradition has been going strong for thousands of years. So, what's the point of the Hajj? Well, it's not just one thing. On one hand, it's a personal, spiritual journey, but it's also this massive community event. It's about remembering God, it's about charity, feeding the poor and needy, it's about fulfilling your promises, and of course, performing all the rituals around the Kaaba.
But here's the absolute key takeaway. The text makes it super clear. The physical stuff, like animal sacrifice, that's all symbolic. It's not the meat or the blood that reaches God. What really matters, what actually reaches him, is what's going on inside you, your piety, your sincerity, your consciousness of God. That inner state is what it's all about. That's taqwa.
All right, so from that central ritual, the surah kind of zooms out. It starts looking at how people actually respond to all this guidance. And it shows that faith isn't just an on or off switch, right? It's more like a spectrum, from someone who's full of doubt to someone who is absolutely rock solid in their belief. And there's this one description that is just so vivid. It talks about someone who worships God on an edge. Think about that. As long as things are good, they're fine. But the second a real trial hits them, boom, they flip completely. They're literally teetering on the edge, ready to fall off the second things get tough. And the results of being on that edge versus being steadfast, well, they couldn't be more different. The text lays out these two destinies in really stark, intense detail. It's all very sensory. You have garments of fire on one side and gardens of pleasure on the other. It paints this incredibly clear picture of two completely different futures. Now, to show that this isn't just some abstract idea,
The surah points to actual history. It's like it's saying, don't believe me? Go look for yourselves. Travel around and see the ruins of civilizations that came before. You'll find the evidence everywhere. You'll see a fallen city, an old, forgotten well, even a grand, empty palace. All of these things are described as silent witnesses. They're a stark reminder that it doesn't matter how powerful you are or how amazing your buildings are, none of that can protect you if a society turns its back on what's right. So, where does this all lead? Well, it all builds up to this really powerful conclusion. The surah takes everything we've talked about, God's power, the miracle of life, the lessons from history, and it pulls it all together into one final, direct instruction for those who believe. So after laying out exactly what's at stake, the text gives you the formula for success. It's actually pretty straightforward. Bow down, prostrate, worship your Lord, and do good. It's this combination of personal worship and actively doing good in the world. That's the path. And this really is the ultimate point. It's not just about passively believing something. It's about striving, a real, active struggle and effort for God's cause with everything you've got. And by bringing up Abraham again right at the end, it connects this idea of struggle to this long, ancient tradition of faith that's been going on for centuries. So in the end, this is where Surah Al-Hajj leaves you. After this whole journey, from the terror of the final hour to the miracle of your own creation to the unity of the pilgrimage, it all comes down to this one very personal question. It leaves you thinking, what does it really mean to strive? What does a life of purpose look like for me, right here, right now?